What if I told you that the dystopian future we fear isn't something waiting for us, but we're already living it? The first vision, a world where the human spirit is crushed under controlling government, reducing people to nothing more than parts in a giant machine. The second vision is one where we are enslaved, not by force, but by pleasure. In this future, the masses are doped into submission by the perfect mix of mass media and pharmaceuticals. We're told that this is freedom, that this is happiness, but is it? When was the last time you felt truly free, not just entertained or numbed? Modern society is designed to keep us comfortable, but at what cost? How many of us reach for our phones, pop a pill, or binge on TV to escape the emptiness of our lives? This might sound far-fetched, but look around. From the moment we're born, our lives are programmed by institutions. Modern man finds himself born in an institution run by the state, the hospital where he's measured, weighed, and injected. After a day or two, he might get to leave that institution, but guess what? His mother is a strong, independent woman who has to work at a soulless job to make ends meet. Statistically, it's most likely that she's a single mother and doesn't have a husband or committed family to help with the new baby. So the baby has to go to daycare, another institution. Eventually to a school now where he is taught to make sure he's properly educated 8 hours a day. 40 hours a week, feeding him the state-approved curriculum to mold him into an obedient citizen and consumer. He gets older and goes to college, another institution, meant to train him to be a productive citizen who thinks the right thoughts, believes the right beliefs. But this education comes at a cost. Tens of thousands in student debt and the uncertainty of finding a job that matches his field of study. Maybe he'll hit the so-called jackpot, landing jobs in the corporate world. But what does that really mean? 40 years of dragging himself out of bed, sitting behind a computer, only to come home exhausted. Too tired to do anything but order Uber Eats and watch Netflix. Maybe he gets married, maybe he has 1 or 2 kids, but really, what's the point? They're all locked up into their own consumer-driven existence for most waking hours. After 40 years of work, retirement comes, most likely divorced by then, with children who have moved on as he spends his final days alone in a nursing home, the final institution. Or maybe he will end up just dying in his apartment. No one will really know. He has no family to visit him or care for him. And when he dies, it'll only become apparent a few months later, when the growing stench of his rotting corpse wafts into the halls of his apartment building. And then again, a corporation has to be called to dispose of the putrid remains. Apparently, this is progress, with ongoing economic growth, technological advances, and moral improvements as we find new rights and freedoms in social justice movements. We're supposedly better off now than any time in history, but is that really true? This isn't just one person's story, it's the norm, it's by design. This is the logical outcome of a godless, materialistic, liberal worldview. In this view, true happiness isn't found in a promised heaven or an afterlife. It's found in maximizing bodily pleasures and minimizing pain. But at what cost? We're told that more goods, more services, more conveniences will make us happy and freer. But does endless consumption really lead to true happiness? Real happiness doesn't come from products. It comes from deep, meaningful relationships, a loving spouse, devoted children, a shared identity centered around a higher purpose. But these profound sources of joy aren't consumerist in nature. In fact, the consumer economy often works to dissolve these organic relationships and replace them with empty alternatives. Why bother with the responsibilities of marriages when convenience, dating apps, and online pornography offer quick, easy satisfaction? Why bother with the burden of having to raise your own children yourself when daycare services make it so easy to ship them off while you pursue your personal career ambitions? Why serve God and unite with the community when you can indulge in the shallow, feel-good spirituality offered by flashy speakers on social media on the palm of your hand? The human mind naturally shuns such an artificial existence. The only way modern people survive is by constant use of drugs, alcohol, painkillers, and antidepressants to numb the senses. And still, suicide rates and drug overdose deaths have been climbing year after year. Isn't mankind supposed to be free? Maybe freedom is the problem. We've been told that endless technology and consumption are meant to give us more freedom, more comfort. We no longer have to struggle like our ancestors did. Everything we need, food, shelter, sex, entertainment, is available at the touch of a button. And if a button is too much effort, just use voice command. Or what if chips could be implanted in the brain so that we can order pizza with our thoughts, but then we would have to chew the food? Quite a chore. What if we could just inject the nutrients directly into our bodies and simulate the taste? But then, why let a clunky human body limit our freedom at all? Why not enhance our bodies with technology? Or better yet, ditch our bodies entirely? Imagine uploading our consciousness into the cloud, existing in a state of perpetual cybernetic bliss. Isn't this the ultimate freedom? Freedom realized to its fullest potential? But of course, this freedom would also mean no more human body. And no more human body means no more soft touch of another warm's embrace. No more watching the sunset. No more smelling the rain. No more reveling in the joyous laughter of your children. No more human life as we know it. The extinction of the human race. Is there another path? Wake up!